Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Mathis with the Mathis Group. Welcome to 7 Minutes to PMP Mastery. In this video, we're going to talk about emotional intelligence and how those questions are framed for you to be able to answer them on your PMP exam. So let's give you a little bit of an overview. Emotional intelligence, one of the suggestions that I think is really interesting is the hook is IQ might get you hired, EQ will get you promoted. And the reason is because emotional intelligence allows you to have that opportunity to be able to use your people skills. So some of the key points might be self-awareness, recognizing your emotions and triggers, self-regulation, managing emotions under pressure. And so PMI is going to put you in situations and have you answer questions under pressure and under emotional triggers. Overview of emotional intelligence would be motivation, a drive for achievement beyond external rewards, empathy, understanding others' emotions and perspectives, social skills, which would be influence, communicate, manage conflict, actionable. Emotional intelligence is testable on the PMP exam. The PMP isn't just formulas and processes, it tests how you lead people under pressure. If your audience is taking the current exam, PMI explicitly calls out emotional intelligence under the people domain. The task would be to promote team performance through the application of emotional intelligence. So it's going to be very important for you to be able to understand that it's going to be a team environment typically rather than a strong dominant leader in most of these answers. So, what does emotional intelligence look like? Well, emotional intelligence isn't usually labeled emotional intelligence question. Instead, they're going to have a question pop up that's a conflict scenario. Two teammates are clashing, or stakeholders are frustrated, or they're blaming someone else, or communication breakdowns, misunderstanding, expectations, tone, remote team friction, or leadership style choices, directive leaders compared to coaching or servant leaders, and there's a conflict. So they're going to test it through those type of skills rather than telling you that it's emotional intelligence. So let's look at decision patterns for the PMP exam. Give them a simple mental model they can apply to situational questions. So pause and assess first. Don't jump to punishment or escalation. And so in PMI's emotional intelligence related enablers, you'll see the exam pushing you to read behavior, adjust to emotional needs that assesses before it acts. And so as long as you think about how we want to assess and then we will act, you're going to be going in the better direction for your answers. Address the human side plus the project side in that order. And typically it's going to be the best answer will flow, acknowledging, empathizing, clarifying, collaborating on the next step, and then documenting and follow through. And so that's what you're trying desperately to do is to remember you're in a team setting. Don't escalate these particular situations because you'll probably have an escalation answer there, and that's probably not going to be your best answer. Choose the least forceful, effective action. Coach, mediate, facilitate before escalating. Escalation is usually later unless there's a safety or ethics compliance emergency. And then you protect psychological safety and team performance. That often means having a private conversation, using respectful language, and focusing on the issue, not the person as you talk with them. So it's going to be very, very ethical, but it's also going to be very supportive as you're talking with that person. Also, picking up the best answers. Sometimes this is a little bit of a challenge. And so use quick mini examples as you're practicing for this. So a team conflict. Best answer usually includes facilitate a conversation, identify a root cause, agree on a resolution approach or ground rules, and then follow up. Conflict management shows up directly in the people and domain task. And so sometimes whether it's conflict or whether it's emotional intelligence, you're not going to be able to know which question you're really answering there. You'll also have upset stakeholders. Best answers usually start with listening, clarifying expectations, and then tailoring communication, then aligning on the path forward or what are the next steps going to be. Underperforming team members. The best answer often leans toward coaching, supporting, removing impediments, clarifying expectations rather than immediately replacing them. This is not when you're going to typically escalate to HR, so that's typically not your best answer. And then exam tips specify to EI style questions. These help viewers answer faster, more accurately. So watch the keyword first, next, and best, most appropriate. Usually this means assess and understand before acting. First, next, best, most appropriate usually means assess and understand before acting. Avoid the extreme. So immediately escalate, replace the person, send a harsh email, force compliance. All of those type of things are typically a trap on the test because you're not going to do those extremes without having some preliminary meetings with this person. Pick collaboration over control. Facilitate alignment, build trust, create feedback loops. Those are reoccurring with people domain behaviors. And so those are going to be much more in line with what PMI thinks. When two answers seem right, choose the one that improves the relationship the best and advances the project with minimal disruption. And that's typically going to be a little bit better because those two answers are going to be right, but one is technically more right than the other. And then on EI questions, the PMP is grading your judgment, not your vocabulary. So if you can't explain why your choice builds trust and reduces conflict, it's probably not going to be the best answer because that's what you're wanting to do is to build trust and reduce conflict. Most traps push you to act fast, and most best answers push you to understand first. So that will help you be able to decipher some of these. Now, as we close out on this video, let me thank you for watching this and taking some time. I hope it's been helpful on the topic of emotional intelligence. If I can help you in any way, please contact me by email or by 800. And we do PMP exam prep courses virtually every other month. I'm the one who teaches it. I'd love to have you in a class. So you contact us and we'll be glad to look and see about getting you into the next class. Have a great day now, okay? Bye, everyone.